Welcome back to another episode of Day One Radio. We appreciate y'all listening on all the places you find podcasts, Spotify, where else we at? iTunes, SoundCloud, all of that good stuff, YouTube, everything. Appreciate you watching on Live Hip Hop Daily. And if you have not already, you can check out all of the old episodes and videos on Live Hip Hop Daily's YouTube channel, so make sure you check that out too. As you can see, man, we in here with Rap Royalty, one of the true OGs of the game, Mr. Controversy. 30 years in the game, man. What's going on? Willie D, what's happening?
It's all good, baby boy.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you coming through in Atlanta. Appreciate you checking in, man. So we gonna start.
I like the layout, man. I like this.
Appreciate it, man.
It's like art going on. It's like some creative shit happening.
Hey, man, that's what's up, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, man, I want to get right into it because when I spoke to you yesterday and we was trying to get together the interview, I was like just thinking back of. My cousin was super into rap a lot back in the day, so he put me on the yo joints, bald-headed hoes, fuck the KKK, all that stuff. So I went back and I was listening to some of the joints off Controversy, and I'm like, man, this stuff is still you could drop them same lyrics today, and it's still the same stuff going on, man.
Yeah,
it's the man. We like you dropped that in what 89? 89, so we almost 30 years from that point, man. Have you, when did it click to you that, like, I know I can rap, I'm respected out here, but I want to talk about stuff that matters. I want to put substance into my music, because honestly, back then, you had NWA, you had Ice Cube, and it wasn't too many other, and you had a Public Enemy, obviously, it wasn't too many other artists in the rap game that was really rapping about substance. A lot of cats was rapping about rapping.
Well, for me, it started with listening to Stevie Wonder music.
That makes sense.
So I was like, if I ever get a chance to make music for the people, I'm going to make music for the people. I'm going to make music that can touch people's souls, music that can help people get out of jams. You know, like Stevie Wonder helped me get out of some jams, you know? So I was like, I just felt it was incumbent upon me to, reciprocate that energy. So I was like, I'm going to talk about the things that other people are scared to talk about, So for me, it was like, I can't be like knowing the things that I know and not speak on it. Like a lot of people are afraid of authorities. They're afraid of the police. They're afraid of the government. They're afraid of their bosses at work. They're afraid. And my thing is like, if you can't do it or you scared to do it, shit, I'll do it. Tell me who fucking with you. Like tell me who out of pocket.
Right.
And also if you don't have a voice, there's people out there that want to be able to say something, but they don't have my platform.
Yeah, nobody listening.
Yeah, exactly. They don't have the ears. So for me, it was like, I'll do it.
Right.
I'll speak. I'll be the voice for the voiceless.
For sure. Going back to Stevie, man, like my parents, especially my mother, huge Stevie Wonder fan. So I grew up listening to that. Now, I personally feel like Stevie Wonder had from the late 60s to the early 80s had a run like no one else.
Yeah.
100%. What was the Stevie album or Stevie song that really resonated with you and just hit you? It's the one you can always go to when you having one of them days.
I Wish is the song.
Okay.
That's the song, but I mean, you can just go with any album, but the album was songs to the key of life.
Yeah.
Songs to the key of life.
Songs in the key of life.
Songs in the key of life. Yeah. The album was Songs in the Key of Life.
Classic.
And but any Stevie album you could play back to back because it's substance. He's talking about something. So, but even when Stevie, like one of Stevie's greatest songs was a Christmas song. And that's Someday at Christmas.
Yeah.
Like that song. I mean, go look it up right now, y'all. Someday at Christmas, man. He said, "Men won't be boys, playing with guns like kids play with toys." Someday at Christmas, our world will see a land where men are free, You know, that song right there, like it's a beautiful song, but at the same time it's heart wrenching.
Yeah.
Because you know the only way we're gonna get to that day is all of us got to die, because evil people run the world. Mm-hmm. You know, the world is ran by the wicked. This is why even in education, our kids can't get properly educated, because the people who are at the top that run it, they don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
And every time you've ever had a real good teacher, they run good teachers off also. You get a good teacher that wants to come in and make a difference, because, you know, the teacher is sitting back like, you know, oh, all I got to do is this and this and this, and then things will be cool. You know, this will be great for the kids. Right. And they go in and they come in with the right attitude, and they get this itch, and then they go like, well, you need to talk to Mr. Davis about this. And then you get over there, and then Davis say, well, you need to talk to such and such about this. And then when you talk to them, it's like, no. And then you say, well, you know, I'm going to go around and maybe I'll talk to the superintendent. This is just not right.
Yeah.
And then you don't want to go over your boss head.
Right.
So a lot of times these ideas get killed before they even take off. They get killed on the assistant principal level.
Yeah.
They don't even reach the principal.
Yeah, my pop's been working for Oakland Public Schools for over 30 years, so
you know.
I know. We've had this conversation since I was a kid to now, and he finna retire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I definitely understand that, man. Going back to when you first started out in Houston, man, like everybody knows Houston because of rap a lot, but I don't think a lot of people understand that y'all had a scene there, like a Royal Flush and, you know, those cats in the 80s, man. Talk a little bit about, like, what that rap scene was like in Houston and battling at Rap Attack and all of that type stuff.
It was a proud scene.
Okay.
It was, you know, it was, in order to call yourself a rapper back then, you had to battle. Was no ifs, ands, and buts about it. You couldn't just say, I rap. I mean, yeah, okay, battle.
Right.
Let me hear you. And you ain't got no battle. You can't battle rap. You're not a rapper.
Right.
So I come from battle rapping. And Raw Flush was the original kings of battle rapping in Houston.
Okay.
Them, and then Romeo Poet came along. And he became the king, you know.
And I had heard you say before, Romeo Poet is the one that kind of pushed you to step up your lyricism even more.
Yeah, all of them pushed me, but, you know, Romeo, he pushed, man, they were... The dudes was like really, really, really good at what they did, and they were professionals at it. I mean, they was sharp, man, sharp. And it was battling them that helped me sharpen my skills. And it was constantly competing, every single week competing against them and other artists. I ain't gonna say artists, maybe it's just dudes and shit, you know.
Right.
But
right.
It was competing against these cats, man, that really got me, you know, made me come on with it. And so I remember I wrote Ballhead Hoes before I had a record deal. Like, I was performing Ballhead Hoes in clubs, like getting money. I wasn't getting nothing but like $500 a show, but, you know, that was pretty good to not have a record.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people understand that y'all had an insulated scene in Houston, like, well before people knew about Houston rappers, which is wild to me. That's super dope. Like, somebody needs to do some kind of a documentary or something on that, because whenever you talk to artists from Houston, they talk about that. Like, people still know K Rhino now, but he's been around forever, and guys like that. So I had heard, and tell me if this is right or wrong, that at the Rap Attack shows back in, what was the name of the club? Rhinestones?
The Rhinestone.
That you actually battled Vanilla Ice a few times.
Yeah.
Before he was...
Did that boy bad. Did that boy bad. You know, but it was all, you know, in fun. Nah, I ain't gonna lie, that wasn't fun. I was serious. I was like, you know, I felt it was territorial. Like, you coming over here, you coming in here, you sure you want to do this?
Right.
So, yeah.
He had to be brave as hell to come into Houston, not even being from Houston, as a white boy to come in there and rap.
Vanilla Ice had nuts. Now, I don't know what happened between him and Suge.
Right.
But I know he was not afraid to come into the enemy territory and battle.
Yeah.
Like, and he would be standing up there. Like, I remember when he battled, he'd be looking mean, menacing. Yeah, I know y'all, it's hard for y'all to imagine Vanilla Ice looking menacing.
Right.
But he'd be like, going hard, like he was serious, man. I had to give him an A for effort because, I mean, he didn't think he could lose. Like, he really didn't believe that I was better than him, like
that's
he
crazy.
Like he didn't believe nobody was better than him. He'd jump on the stage and just go off, and people used to cheer for him. We had 2 rounds. We had the regular round where you had to flex your rap skills, and then we had the battle round. If you made it through the regular round, then the first round, and the second round was the battle round.
Okay.
And it didn't matter what Vanilla Ice would say in the first round. They cheered him on because they wanted him in the.
They wanted to see him get whooped in the battle round.
They wanted him to get into that battle round, and hey, man, I had to do that, boy.
That's crazy. What came first as far as your love? Was it rap or was it boxing?
Boxing.
Boxing. Okay.
Yeah.
How old was you when you first started?
Yeah. Boxing.
Yeah.
11.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was boxing first, but actually it was music first.
Okay.
Then it was boxing.
Right.
And then it was rap.
Gotcha.
Because I didn't get turned on to rap until I was 15.
Okay.
And so even when I started, it started on a dare. I never looked at rap and said, "Ooh, I want to do that." It wasn't like that. It was like we hanging out in the hood, listening to the music, and my boy Steve Mayweather was like, "Ah, man, me and Willie can do that." We was listening to Run DMC. He was like, "Man, me and Willie can do that." So everybody was like, "Yeah, right," looking at him crazy.
Right.
So it was like a dare to me. So I'm listening to it. I'm listening to the rhyme scheme. I'm like, well, it's fly, but it's pretty simple. The scheme, the rhyme scheme is pretty simple. It's not really complex.
Right.
So we went in our house. He went in his house. I went into my house, and we came back out in an hour. He said his rap, everybody started laughing. I said my rap, they started raising their eyebrows. And it was like I knew I had something. And they liked it. They really liked what I was saying. So for like the next few months, I rapped that same 8 bars against anybody I battled. I had 8 bars, and I would go against anybody.
Right.
And then when I would get to the end of the 8, I'd be like, "You know what, nigga, I ain't gonna even worry about you no more, fool. I ain't got nothing for you. Like I'd be talking like, I ain't gonna waste my time on you.
Right.
Because I know I ain't had no other shit
You
to
ain't
say.
had no more bars.
So after a while, I knew that was gonna play out. They was gonna discover, I was perpetrating a fraud. so I went in and I started, and I put 8 more to that, so it became a verse. Then it became a song, and then I was like, okay, I need another song. And so, that's how I built my repertoire.
That's wild, man. So with boxing, man, who was the how did you get into boxing? Did somebody just think like, hey, you should try that?
Yeah, because I was fighting all the time.
Okay. And it was like, let's channel this energy into something constructive.
Yeah, it was like, somebody, I don't know who told me, and I don't even know if somebody told me, because the YMCA that I started at was adjacent to the apartment complex we lived in. Okay. So I used to go there all the time. So I guess like one day I probably just stumbled in there, but I did go in and I put the gloves on and I sparred the best dude that was in my weight class. I gave him a bloody nose. The coach got mad at me, but I could tell he liked me. Yeah. So about a week later, I had my first boxing match, and I knocked out a dude in the first round. And I remember he had an afro just like me. So I knocked the dude out. I knocked him out in the first round, and they gave me a trophy. And
you wasn't even expecting that.
I knew I would get a trophy if they would give me one, but what I was not expecting was grown folks to be proud of me. Like, because normally anytime I would have a fight, that was some type of punishment followed. You know, grown folks, basically, if I had a fight, and grown folks never liked when I fought, they would get mad. They would always be mad at me.
Right.
This time, they was happy. They was excited. They was proud of me. And I was like, man, I just felt good. I did something that made people proud.
Right.
It made people like me other than just fighting, in
the street or doing something not constructive.
Yeah. And that's the thing about youngsters, man. Like youngsters, everybody got something they can do just as good or better than anybody. It's just finding out what that is and then applying yourself. Because people want attention. It's human nature.
Of course.
People might tell you, I don't want no attention. I don't want no party. Don't give me nothing. As soon as you give them a party or give them something, thank you. I'm so,
Right.
But they may not want you to make a big deal out of them, out of them. But when you do, they're always grateful, right? So with the boxing thing, it was like when they came at me like that, and everybody was getting excited. I was like, man, I could do this thing, So I just started, man, and I just went on a string of wins.
How long did you box before you stopped for a while to start rapping again?
I stopped boxing at 18.
At 18,
after I won
7 years.
After I won the Golden Gloves,
gotcha.
For the state of Texas, I came to a crossroads. It was like, because now I had been rapping for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to make a decision.
Yeah.
So,
most definitely. And did you? We're gonna get into when you came back to boxing later.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into that later. But with the rapping thing, man, you started off as a solo artist. Obviously signed to rap a lot as a solo artist, and ended up getting into the Geto Boys as a favor for Jay.
Mm-hmm.
But what I think was funny is can you tell people how you first met Bushwick before the Geto Boys thing even started?
Yeah. I met Bill at the club. Well, I ain't meet him.
You encountered. Right.
Exactly. I'm standing at the club, standing up by the DJ booth. The DJ booth is behind us, me and my boy.
Right.
And the stage is in the dance floor, and then the stage is in front of us. And people are dancing on stage, they're dancing on the dance floor. So we just standing there, we just sitting back, and we really trying to check out the girls,
Right.
So I feel a nudge in my back, like boom. And I look around, I ain't see nobody. And then my boy was like, pointing at Bill.
Right.
Bill was a bus boy for the club. So he had this bucket, and it was full of glasses. This was back in the day they used to have glasses in the club.
Right.
And he walking. I walk up to him, I said, say little Bushwick, man, you just bumped into me. You ain't gonna say excuse me? Get the fuck out of the way. So, after that, man, it got a little physical, man,
Yeah.
So
if you didn't know, Willie is known for his hands as well.
Yeah. So after that, that's how I met Bushwick, man.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And would you have ever thought that, a year or so later that you would be trying to convince Jay to put him in a group with you?
No. But that's how life is. That's why you got to put yourself out there to get opportunities. Like, you ain't going to get no opportunities sitting at home.
Yeah.
Just sitting and not. You got to come out of that shell. Like, whatever opportunities you are getting, if you put yourself out there, you're going to get way more. Like, way more. So, even though me and Bill had conflict, I felt like when it was over, it was over. So that's how I am. Like, I feel like when it's over, it's over. If we buried the hatchet, we buried the hatchet.
Right.
Then that's it. That's it. So I didn't feel any type of way when I encouraged Jay to put him in the group, because I felt like, that was in the past. I'm like, right now we're making a Geto Boys record. What can we do to make this the dopest shit? What ingredients can we use? To me, it was no different than saying, let's use that beat, or let's use that sample.
Gotcha.
Like, let's put Bill in the group. I know y'all, just like y'all laughing right now, everybody gonna be laughing at first.
Right.
But I'm gonna write them some dope shit, and they ain't gonna be laughing no more. They gonna be like, that little nigga cold,
Right.
That type of shit.
So, with Geto Boys, man, like you didn't know Action, who we all know is Scarface now, and you didn't really know Bill like that. At what point did it make sense for you? Did the group thing make sense for you, and you realized that, oh, this was a favor, but now, like, oh, this is gonna be some real shit?
The minute we started doing it.
Okay. You heard the music and was like, oh.
Nah, it's like when we got in the studio.
Okay.
And we started putting that shit together. It just came together like that. We did that first album in 10 days.
Wow.
Like we were out of there in 10 days. And so, like, when we was putting it together, we like, yeah, man, this motherfucker. It didn't take long for people to jump on it. Like,
nah.
When we sold like 800,000 records with zero radio.
Right.
Radio stations, especially in Houston, they would not play our music. They wouldn't play it. The DJs wouldn't play it. We had a little bit more access to the DJs because they couldn't hide in them big old buildings and shit. They had to come out.
Had to be
back then, they had to pack them crates in and out of the club with those 12 inches.
Right.
And we used to pay the DJs a lot of visits back in the day. Hey man, what's up with that record?
Right.
Like, y'all got it easy, man. Y'all artists today, y'all just don't know how easy y'all got it. And there are a lot of artists in Houston, they just don't know how they don't know how easy they have it compared to, us. Like, it was nothing. We grind off the muscle. That whole industry, we created it. We created the industry. It was no industry. Right.
Not at all.
We actually created a music industry in Houston.
There's a lot being made of, younger artists now not knowing or not acknowledging older artists. I don't really feel like you guys have that issue. I feel like, especially the artists from Texas, respect the Geto Boys and respect Rap A Lot and everything y'all have done. Is that the case? Because I'm outside looking in.
Yeah, we get it. It could be more, you know what I'm saying? It could be more said for it, but the thing is that, I get Google alerts on GB, and oftentimes I read articles where people are paying homage, all kind of people, not just rappers, but rock artists pay homage. I've seen stuff where book authors have paid homage to Geto Boys, saying that they were inspired by Geto Boys. Before they started writing, they listened to Geto Boys, and boom, they just started.
Yeah.
So I've heard about jazz musicians. They're singers. Entrepreneurs.
Why do you think that? My guess would be is because the music was so raw.
Yeah.
Like, it was just uncensored, raw, genuine, like, just how people feel. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's why so many people from different worlds gravitate to it?
Yeah, I think everybody have their own little thing about it that make them, like, trip. Some people gravitate toward the gore stuff, when we do like the Mind of a Lunatic.
Right.
Like, Mind of a Lunatic is like, it's just so far out there. It's like listening to a horror movie, right? So a lot of times people watch a horror movie because, like, oh, did you see how that happened? Oh man, so it's like when we're doing that song, we're painting the picture. So it's really a vivid picture being played, being painted lyrically, right? So I think you have people that listen to it for that. You have people that listen to it for the struggle because of the struggle that's in it. You have people that listen to it for the defiance that's in it. You have people that listen to it for the the politicism that's in it. That's so much. It's so many different angles that we come from. Like, it's very hard to just box a Geto Boy album, right?
And I mean, that makes sense because you and Face are very different artists, very different lyricists. So that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and
saying that, you got the hustle element, Right. There's people that listen to it because of the hustle element. There's people that listen to it because of the survival element that's in it. There's a very strong survival element in there. And the thing about it is that I think it's respected. It's not just dismissed as just some gangster music or whatever. Because if you listen to the lyrics, every single song, even if it is talking about going to get it and come back with it, it's a cautionary tale. Yeah. We're not reckless with the lyrics. Yeah. We're not just reckless and saying, just do this, go do this, and ain't no repercussions. Yeah. Like, we let you know, like, yeah, you can do this, but, just know that, it's repercussions, I think it's consequences.
That's what's missing from a lot of quote-unquote gangster music or whatever, is that there's kind of people die, people go to jail, people lose their families. Yeah. You can work for something your whole life and the government can take everything.
Man, it's consequences. Let me tell you something, man. I like Chop in the Trunk just as much as anybody else liked the song. But they need to know, if you get caught with that Chop in the Trunk, that's 10 years fed. You going to jail for 10 years. Yeah. Get ready. So it sound cool. Pull up. What's up, fool? Got Chop in the trunk. Can I check the trunk? No. Okay. We'll just wait. Dogs come. Okay, pop the trunk. All right. You gone. Whoever them kids is you got, kiss them goodbye for at least 10 years because and it depends on what kind of what your record look like already. Right. Might be gone longer than that. Right. So kiss them goodbye, and we don't know who that dude is going to be raising them, but just know it's going to be another dude in your house. Raising your kids, those formidable years that you should be with your kids, some other dude is going to steal that from you. Right. He's going to take that. And depending on what type of dude he is, which a whole lot of them dudes ain't right. You got some dudes that do it right, that stepped into that road. They stepped up. They not stepped there. They stepped up. You know what I'm saying? Right. But a lot of them dudes, they ain't right. They ain't got the right heart. And when they come in, they're gonna be bossing your kids around. They're gonna smack your woman around, and they're gonna sooner or later they're gonna be, if you got any girls, they're gonna be looking at your little girls.
It's crazy.
Believe that.
It's crazy.
So. Yeah. All that shit sound good, man.
Gotta move smart.
But you better listen to that music like you do when you watch movies. Just know that that shit is entertainment, and you better, if you can learn something from it, cool. Because that's what I do. When I go to the movies, I watch movies, and if I can learn something, cool. But if I don't learn nothing, that's cool too. As long as I was entertained.
Exactly.
Right? That's right. So some people, they try to hold hip-hop to a higher standard. But the reason why they
especially because most of these dudes are lying.
Well, the reason why, the reason why they do it is because Master told them to. Mm-hmm. So you got to have somebody. You got to have somebody to blame for everything bad that happened. Okay. You got to have somebody got to be scapegoat. Right? And who better to be able to point the finger to than the disenfranchised genre, the most disenfranchised genre. Hip hop, even though it's the leading genre, is disenfranchised because the people that's in hip hop, the consumers of hip hop, don't vote. Many of them don't vote. They're not active in their communities. They're not active in politics. Right. They're partying and bullshitting for the most part. You do have a large constituency of hip hop people that are active in the communities and stuff. Enough. But it's not. It don't represent the numbers. Because if it did, if the numbers were reflective of the activism, man, we wouldn't even have none of these problems we have.
You're right, 100% right. We was talking about gripping on that other level a little bit, and that the streets really pushed to the notoriety that you had gotten with the first, what most people consider the first Geto Boy, the Geto Boys that we know and love, that album.
Yeah.
But what was the reaction for you when MTV and all that stuff started picking up when We Can't Be Stopped and y'all on magazines, and it's like they really, like, the Geto Boys was like stars across the board. Like, was that crazy for you, or were y'all expecting it, or what?
I just felt like we were some cold motherfuckers, and everything we got we deserved. Okay. I was like, this is what we do. You know, like it was not a lot of time to stroke your ego. You know, it was not a lot of time to pat ourselves on the back, because we was like, okay, you know, we gotta go and do this show. We gotta go and do this video. We gotta go back in the studio and do another album. So that was not a lot of time to rest on our laurels. Okay. It was like about getting it going to the next level. And I've always been the type of person who put everything in perspective, right? So for me, I can say personally, for me, it was like anything that came to us that was good. I felt like we worked for it. I felt like we was talented enough and we deserved it. So, but I was thankful if anybody recognized that. I was thankful for that. I was thankful for the record sales. I was thankful for the airplay, but I didn't have a lot of time to gloat over it, you know? Like My Playing Tricks was in rotation for 6 months on the radio. Imagine that. Any song being in rotation for 6 months. But it was on the radio for 6 months. And I would hear people say, damn, man, you know, I like My Playing Tricks, but ain't you tired of hearing it? Hell no. That's right. I would say bills. I would say hell no, I ain't tired of hearing it. That's for when they stop playing our music. Right. You know?
And they still ain't stopped playing it.
Well, you know, I'm talking about they haven't stopped playing My Playing Tricks, but they've stopped, you know, like they're not playing a GB record. Like they didn't play our last album, you know, the releases like they did in the past. Exactly. So, you know, it's going to come that time. That's why it's very, very important when you are on top and when you are getting it, don't rest. It's easy. I mean, it's like a natural thing for people to get tired of just, you know, like if you've never really toured and all of a sudden you're away from home all the time for months at a time, it's very easy to get homesick, right? But the thing is that you have to look at your brand. You have to look at yourself as a brand and as a company. Now, as a company, McDonald's is open 365 days a year. Mm-hmm. They even have some 24-hour McDonald's. Now, when McDonald's started hitting, they didn't say, "Man, we're doing good, man. Let's take a vacation. You know what? Let's take Saturdays and Sundays off. Right. You know what, man? Let's scale back some of these hours." Right. They was like, let's smash the gas. Let's get some more. You know what? Let's open till midnight. And then they were like, you know what? Let's stay open till 2. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just stay open 24 hours. So they got some locations that stay open 24 hours. And then they say, you know what, man? We got 100 McDonald's, man. We doing good around the nation. You know what? Smash the gas. We need 200. We need 300, 400. Right now, I don't know how many they got, but I'm sure it's a few thousand, and I'm sure they want a few thousand more. Definitely. It's always about smashing the gas. The Rolling Stones have been traveling for the last 40, 50 years. They don't stop. They make $100 and something million every single year. Every single year, I know because I be watching they shit. They make $100 and something $100 million plus every single year, and they do it because they look at their brand as a business. Now they figured out a way to, you know, be able to see their children and stuff, and the women in their lives, because they just put them on the bus with them, and you know, they make it happen. But you know, you can make these type of provisions and stuff, but I've seen too many artists who, you know, get burnt out, right? They allow themselves to get burned out. They say, well, I'm burned out and I want to take a break, and then all of a sudden they're off for, 2 years, or they take off for 3, 4, 5 years, and then they try to come back, and it ain't the same.
It's not promised.
It's not promised. It's not promised at all, especially today, where we have an influx of microwave artists, and the artists and the fans are a reflection of that microwave atmosphere that we're living in.
Definitely, that's definitely true. For you guys, you because of Face's success and you doing solo records, him doing solo records, the whole nine, you guys had parted ways for a minute, and then Big Mike was in for a second for I think 1 album, 2 albums. One album, and then the core came back for the resurrection. Was that difficult to put you guys back together again for an album? And the album was great.
It was difficult to want to do business again.
Okay.
With me and Jay.
Gotcha.
Why
is that?
I mean, shit wasn't right. Contractually. So,
Gotcha.
But once we got it back right, once we decided that we want to do business with each other again, it was not a problem going in the studio and knocking out. I mean, the chemistry that me and Brad are the writers, so our chemistry is a trip, dog. Like we can be away from each other for months at a time, not talking to each other, nothing. We get in that studio, do a record, it's like this, and we know each other so good, like we know, okay, this is what we doing, all right, okay, go. He start, I go, and it's just a perfect mesh, you know what I'm saying? It always just, the blend is just perfect every single time, and it's no deep thinking and all of that. Y'all doing thinking about it and like, oh man, this is just not working. We've never had a this is not working moment.
Right.
Never.
No, not at all. I mean,
we do songs. We probably got about the only time we've ever not released songs that we actually recorded was the last album.
Was
the Foundation album. Right. But other than that, like every time we do a song, it goes out because, it's just, everything is just on the money. And even some of those songs that was not released, on that last album, those songs can go. Those songs really was not released because they wasn't finished.
Gotcha. Because there was some difficulties making that album, right? Like with Bill and Face not wanting to be in the studio together and all of that.
Well, it was Face not wanting to be in the studio with Bill.
Gotcha.
Like, and that was the first time Jay wasn't in the studio. Not one day.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, it made a huge difference. But we got the shit done. Amazingly, that record is one of the best albums we did. Mm-hmm. So we can, if that's the last album, we can say we did it.
Hopefully not. Don't know fans want to hear that that's the last Geto Boys album.
If it's the last one, we can say, man, from start to finish, man, we did that shit. And those records those are records that we can be proud of, and that we know are gonna stand the test of time.
So for you guys, man, like, and I know that it's sometimes it's years where we don't see y'all collectively, and then they may do a show here and there. So like, on records, we know Scarface is player, hustler, Bill, comic relief, you are the political, social angle. But as a group, like, what roles do y'all play? Because from listening to you all the time, listening to Faye, I feel like a lot of times you would be like the voice of reason within the group.
Yeah, I think without trying to sound condescending, I think I am the voice of reason in the group. Like a lot of times, my guys, the motherfuckers are stubborn. Just put it like that.
Right.
But the thing is that Brad was so fucking successful as a solo artist, and he's so used to doing shit on his own. When it comes to compromising, sometimes he don't want to compromise.
Yeah.
So and when you're in a group, you got to compromise. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
So Brad gets frustrated about that, but Brad also gets frustrated about Bill a lot because Bill ass be like tripping. Yeah. You know, he just be tripping, and that shit kills moods, man. You know, and like when we doing what we do, we try to be in a creative space.
Yeah.
That, you know,
it's
that's
hard to create. When
that's not good. You know, you got to have
on.
that energy, man. That energy. You got to have that energy, and so. I can understand where Brad be coming from, you know, and then, then you got Bill, man. I don't know what be going on in Bill's head sometime, but for whatever reason, man, you know, he just feel like a lot of times I think Bill feel like he feel underappreciated, I think, right? So, and with that, he acts out. And then if he's not feeling underappreciated, I think a lot of times he just feels like he wants to act out because he's just pissed off at the world. He's mad at the world, you know? And so he just act out. You know, and the trip part about it is that he's like, I've been around these guys for, you know, just about 30 years.
Right.
You know? Yeah, it's been 30 years, dog, you know? And it's like...
It's a long time. That's longer than most marriages.
Yeah. It's 30 years, man, and the saddest shit about it is that how much more music could have been made. You know, when I think about that shit, even now, like, man, I'm like, right now, my mind is better than it's ever been. Like, I got a great, like, my intellectual capacity right now is a beast.
Right.
And Brad also, like, his mind intellectually, he is better than he's ever been. You know, just the shit he's on right now, when I talk to him, you know, he just on some other level type shit. So I know what some music would be like. Like, I know that fucking
but
music.
It's the
you know,
perfect time, though.
Yeah.
With all this stuff going on in the world, a Geto Boys album right now.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it would be amazing. Like I feel like people need that because the Geto Boys kind of it transcends age, race, social or political angles because it's just talking about real shit that whether you rich, poor, whatever, people can relate to if you done came from some kind of struggle. We'll get to that for sure, but I want us to talk a little bit. We mentioned the boxing thing earlier in the late 90s. You kind of came back to it. What made you be like, I want to get us a shot?
I kept seeing them niggas get their ass whooped in the ring. Like, I kept seeing fighters in the ring, like, doing shit. I'm like, watch it. I said, watch him get hit with this left. Watch this. You know, you leaving himself open right here.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's going to happen. He finna get hit with an uppercut. Like, I'll say, like, I was predicting, like, I was on some Ali shit. I was predicting how dudes was going to get knocked out. I'm watching all the fights. And I'm like, and I can tell you, okay, this fight going to go 5 rounds. You know, Reggie Johnson is one of my best friends, 3-time world champion. Mm-hmm. And so we watch all the fights together. If we're in town together, we'll watch the fights. And we just be sitting up there predicting what's going to happen. And it be happening just like we say. So I'm like, man, you know, I need to I need to do this just to make sure that when I'm about to go, when I ain't got no more, I don't have any regrets. So I need to go ahead on and do this. So that's what really pushed me to go ahead on and do it.
So you had 4 fights. What was it? 2 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw.
Actually, it was 3 wins. They fucked me up on that stats thing.
Okay, all right.
But 3 wins and a loss. Okay. Yeah.
So did you feel like I got this out? Like I needed to.
Yep. And it wasn't something that was. My bad. It wasn't something that I had to like continue to chase. You know, I didn't feel like I felt like I got it out. You know, and I would have kept going, but I know me. Like if I can't put all of it in, I ain't gonna put none of it in, and I couldn't put all of it in because the thing about boxing, boxing really on the way up is for dudes who ain't got shit.
Gotcha.
That's what makes you an animal in the ring. Mm-hmm. That's what makes you train so hard. You know, that's what makes you not have sex for 6 months.
Right.
You know, it's that discipline. You got to be disciplined. When you already got, you know, tens of $1,000s in expenses every single month already, and, you know, somebody's asking you to fight for $10,000, you know you got to train for 2 months. Mm-hmm. It ain't practical.
Right.
You know? And then you away from the stuff that you normally do to make your bread.
Yeah.
You know, it's really not practical, you know. So I was spending a lot of time away from my real estate ventures and stuff, you know, the shit that I really get bread from, you know.
Gotcha.
And I was like, yeah, I'm cool.
Gotcha. But I mean, it's a blessing, man. Most people, when they choose a particular path with their profession, don't get an opportunity to test the what ifs.
Yeah.
So it's a blessing to be able to do that.
My thing, like I was telling you, man, like the way I live my life, if I think I can do something and I really want to do it, I'm going to do it. Yeah. Whatever it is, I'm going to do it. Because at the end of the day, when I'm on my deathbed and I'm about to go and I ain't got no more, if I have any regrets, I want it to be for the things that I did, not for what I wanted to do but was too afraid to do.
That's real.
I'm not going to be that dude. Like, I ain't going to be just laying up there like, man, I really wanted to be a boxer. I should have boxed, but I didn't want to do it because I was scared what people was going to think of me. You know, I was scared. I was afraid of what people might think of me, you know. If I lose, you know, I'd be embarrassed and da-da-da. You know, if people would just say to themselves, you know what, man, this is what I want to do. And if somebody got a problem with it, you know, really, I mean, you can choose the language. Like, my language would be fuck them. That's what I would say. If you want to use something a little less colorful, you can use something like, you know what, forget them, you know. That's fine. But you really need to develop an attitude to where it doesn't matter what people say, what they think of you when you're pursuing your goals. If you want to pursue a goal, you should pursue that goal irrespective of what anybody would say, especially family members and loved ones, because they can be sometimes your greatest hindrance. You know, like spouses, you know, you get with the wrong spouse, they can hold you back. That's you know, the wrong spouse will hold you back.
Can't marry a dream killer.
Yeah, exactly. The wrong spouse will kill your dream. And once the person kill your dream, I mean, what's left? I mean, if you get with them and it don't work out, you got to kill them. They killed your dream. You know, like if a person can kill your dream, they're not going to respect you either. Think about what I'm saying. Real. Think about what I'm saying. Your dream is like, it's something you really, really want to do, and it tests your fortitude as a person. Yeah. It really tests, how determined that you can be, you know. And nobody likes a person who isn't determined, who can't be focused, you know, who can't be resilient. Nobody likes those type of people, you know. So if that person can kill your dream, then you a lot of times you're gonna stay with that person because, first of all, if you allow anybody to kill your dream, you already in too deep anyway. So if they killed your dream, no matter what they did, you sticking around, you still sticking around, and you sticking around, and eventually it ain't gonna work out anyway.
Not at all.
Yeah, so you got to find somebody who are really supportive of what it is that you want to do, and be with that type of person, or be by yourself.
For sure. A couple years ago, man, the blogs and hip hop started paying attention to your solo stuff again because you dropped the Coon 1 and the Coon 2, pretty much just going in on them people in our race that really ain't about shit. So, you, Steve Harvey, Michael Jordan, Ben Carson, whole bunch of people, man, and I'm sure there was I saw a lot of the comments and backlash and all that, but I wondered, did any of those people or people in their camp reach out to you and say, like, why you doing this or don't?
They didn't reach out, but I know somebody who know Charles Barkley, and he was like, man, but Charles, man, Charles just be, he just, man, like, he don't mean no harm, and man, fuck that coon,
Straight
and
up.
then, Stacey Dash is the only one that I know that responded publicly.
Right. But she responded for attention.
But she, she's an attention whore. So yeah, she responded for attention, but she didn't get too far out of line because, I got a friend, I got a few friends, female friends, that wouldn't mind strangling her little skinny ass. So see, that's the thing, like what's the trip is that, man, we got to get used to being okay with strangling coons. I mean, they're no good, they're useless. And in fact, but they are valuable to our oppressor. Yeah. They're very valuable. So we were talking about a coon the other day, and we was talking about this coon who got shot and by the police, and I was like, man, I feel, let me ask you something. I said, if a Klansman got killed today, would you feel any type of loss? I mean, would you have any sympathy for him? Because if you do, you're a goddamn fool. But that person told me, no, I wouldn't care. I say, well, so why would you care if a coon got killed? Because the coon is saying the same thing as the Klansman. It's the same mentality. They're talking down about the black community, and they're selling out the black community. If you have a man out there, his whole get up, his whole come up, his whole angle is totally bashing black women all the time. That's all he do is bash black women. That's what he do. When you do that, you're helping to promote that image, that negative image of black women. I got a black daughter. That makes it harder on my black daughter, right? And that makes it harder on our black women when they go out into the world, because people have these preconceived notions of what they are.
Gotcha.
You see? So that makes it harder on us, and you make it harder on the women, then you make it harder on the babies they produce. Because a nation can only be as strong as the woman, right? So we can't have that shit. Them motherfuckers need to be executed. All of them. If they talking shit, talking down about our women, and they specifically calling out black women, saying fuck black women, not fuck this black woman that fucked me over, it's her ass, not her.
Fuck black women.
Hey man, if that's your beef, cool, you good. If she fuck you over, she deserve whatever she get, fuck it. But I'm talking about specifically generalizing black women and saying black women ain't shit, and I don't hate them, and they dark this, I don't want no dark babies, and all that type of shit. Like, them motherfuckers are the enemy, and they need to be eliminated. I don't give a fuck who eliminate them. I don't care if the enemy eliminates them. I don't care. I'm indifferent. You understand what I'm saying? I'm totally
I hear you.
I'm totally indifferent to who the fuck. I don't care if they get hit by a train, a cop shoot them, a Klansman lynch him. I don't give a fuck if a black person kill them. I don't care if motherfuckers I don't care if they hanging out with their baby, they on a fucking roller coaster and they have a heart attack. I don't give a shit. That's one less motherfucker that we got to worry about. That's one less enemy that we have to deal with.
I definitely see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Every brother ain't a brother.
You dig? And once we get used to that, we're going to be all right. And that go for the killers in the community too. That go for these niggas that's making the neighborhoods unsafe too. That go for them too. That go for the dealers and shit that's selling this shit to our people, man, that's fucking them up. Because I'm going to tell you something, and that go for me too, because I was out there early on. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't acting like I'm better or nothing. Right. But I woke the fuck up and I understand what this shit is doing. Yeah. All of these kids that are acting wild and shit and doing all this crazy shit, these crack babies, man, what you think gonna happen? Yeah. If their parents wasn't using drugs, they were selling drugs. Right. And guess what happened? Their parents got removed from them. Daddy got sent to jail. So now you got a household being raped and pillaged and shit, and you got boys and shit that are unlearned. You got girls that have been abused and taken advantage of because they didn't have their daddy there to protect them. We fucking are that shit. You know what I'm saying right now is the most unpopular shit to say in the black community, especially as an artist, especially. Yeah. You know, because this is some shit that politicians normally might say, or you know, somebody like that might say. But for me to say it, coming from the streets, this is where I come from. I know this shit for real. So I've done it for real. All that shit anybody can talk about. If it got something to do with gangster, I've done it. Any of it, anything you can imagine, just imagine. Wherever your imagination can take you, I've done it. Okay? Right. So I'm not trying to act like I'm so special and all that shit, but we keep talking about how we gonna fix this shit. We fighting two fronts. We got to fight from two fronts. We got to fight the enemy within, and we got to fight the enemy on the outside. And we can easily identify them. We can easily identify both. But we keep giving the enemy within a pass because some of us, you know, are still in that world. Right. And some of us are benefiting from the enemy also that are in that world. And some of us got family members and friends and shit like that. Look, man. I'm willing to sacrifice my family members who are still fucking up. I'm cool. I'm cool. If it's gonna be for the greater good of our people, if we got to get rid of some of these family members, okay, how many I'm gonna lose? 68? Well, fuck it. Whatever y'all, I just don't tell me what y'all gonna do. I don't need to know what y'all doing, how y'all gonna do it. Cause look, you know, maybe you know, okay, maybe I can give them a warning. Say, okay, this is the warning. Okay, this is what's happening. Get your shit, get out right now, get it straight right now. Cause as of this date, all bets are off. I can't protect you. Everybody, you know, you on your own. We coming to get you too. We got to get to that point to where it's okay for us to protect our neighborhoods. Yeah. You know, from people that look like us. This is why a lot of this shit continues to happen. Is because we haven't reached that point. We too fucking forgiving of people who look like us, who are detriments to our community. You know, we make killers and motherfucking gangsters too comfortable in our neighborhoods. You know, when you kill a person in a white neighborhood, you kill somebody in that neighborhood, they're going to make your life hell. Oh yeah. They're gonna make your family's life hell.
Shit, look at OJ.
They're gonna make your no, I'm talking about even if you a white person, they will make your life hell because number one, they don't want their property value going down. That it got more to do with money than just
always, and it's never about emotions.
Yeah, it ain't necessarily about humanity. It's about money for them. They like, man, we don't need our property value going down. And when you kill out here, you know, oh man, you fucking with my money. So you kill somebody in that neighborhood, man, they finna run your ass up out of that neighborhood. Your grandmama that walk up and down the street taking that little walk, some little kid gonna come through there and kick her ass. They gonna kick that cane and knock that cane out of her hand. She gonna fall. They don't give a damn. They gonna harass your children when they go to school. Right. Your kid's gonna get harassed. Your wife gonna get harassed on her job. I don't care if she was working at the nail salon. For 15 years, she owned it, and she had all the clients in the world, and she was the toast of the town. Yeah. You kill somebody, they going to turn on her ass.
You not on code. You messing up the game.
They going to turn on. We got to get on code. Yeah. See, a lot of them, again, you're going to have coon-type motherfuckers who ain't going to like what I'm saying. Only a coon would disagree with what I'm saying. Only a coon. You got to be a bona fide coon to disagree with the fuck I'm saying. Because what I'm saying, everybody knows is right. But sometimes a motherfucker can tell you something right, but it angers you because you don't want to change.
So you're not willing to sacrifice.
You don't want to, and that's one of the biggest things. We don't want to make the sacrifice. Like, I don't mind making the sacrifice for the greater good. Look, man, I make more money than the average person, so I don't mind paying a little bit more in taxes. Some people do. Some people, well, I'm voting Republican because I'm going to save money. They're going to help me on my taxes. They're going to help my business. So fuck all of y'all over here. I'm going to vote for Trump because he going to help me with my business. Right. Well, I'm okay with making a sacrifice and paying a little bit more so that, we can level the playing fields and we can get closer. I'm okay with that.
Not co-signing this evil bad.
Yeah, I'm okay with that, dog. And like, we don't want to sacrifice. We don't want to make that sacrifice for the greater good. Right. And another thing too, the shit that I'm saying, even though it's gonna piss people off, it's gonna piss a lot of the gangsters and the killers and dope dealers. It's gonna piss them off. Really, it's a blessing in disguise, what I'm saying, because if you use it, you're going to save yourself. Because you ain't got no career in that shit. There is no, if the hood don't get you, if nobody wakes up in the hood and gets you, the fucking people going to get you.
You going to jail.
If you going to jail, look, man, they made this shit for them, not us. They made crime for them. They made these laws and shit. That's why they give these judges so much latitude as to what they can do when a crime is committed. You ever notice how two people can commit this exact same crime and they get different time? That's for them to judge us. So that's when they pull it out. Okay, you get a diversion program. You getting probation or you going to jail for 5 years. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know a diversion program existed until I was like in my 20s, like late 20s. I didn't even know a diversion program existed because they only use diversion programs, well, not only, but primarily they're used for white kids and people with money. Yeah. That's what it's used for. And you'll notice that if you watch some of these NFL players and basketball players, when they commit certain crimes or whatever, they get put in these diversion programs. Mm-hmm. You see, they qualify. But the average black person who goes into court, the judge, man, the prosecutor, they don't even mention it. They don't even mention it. They just start talking about plea bargains and all that type of shit. They start talking about time and probation. You see, but these white kids come in, man, automatically, man, okay, diversion program, you stay out of trouble for 6 months, and we'll stay off your record and da-da-da. And then next thing you know, the white kid, they try to get their shit together most times. Well, I ain't gonna say most times, but oftentimes they get their shit together, and then they go on to be productive citizens. Because, a lot of times, human beings think shit don't stink. They got to smell it, man. They got to get up close to it. They got to get up close to it. Oh, shit, it do smell. They got to get up close to it. So a lot of the white kids, like a lot of these white dudes who own these major companies and shit, a lot of white people that you see that's doing well in life, and you be like, oh, man, you look like a nice, respectable person, whatever. They got criminal history. Yeah. They got criminal history that ain't even, but a lot of it ain't on their record.
Nah, it's been expunged.
Because it's been expunged, or they qualify for a diversion program, right. Man. It's human nature for people to fuck up. Yeah. Ain't none of us perfect. So when you do fuck up, it should be like, depending on what you do, it should be some type of way that you can redeem yourself, and so that you can go on to become a productive citizen in society. But what they do is that they'll break the spirit of young black people by making it so hard for them to redeem themselves that a lot of times they just say, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to sell this dope. Fuck it, I'm just going to rob, man, because they won't give me a job. They won't give me nothing respectful, right. So that I can raise my children and something that I can be proud of. So they take to the streets. So I understand why dudes join gangs. I understand why dudes, sell dope and all that shit. But we can't rely on that shit no more. We can't get that shit a pass.
I wanted to ask you this, man. I remember back in the day you talking about how there were not, y'all didn't allow, gangs to come into Houston. Now there's a big gang culture in Texas, period.
Yeah.
Crips and Bloods. Like, how did that happen, and what are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's not a big gang culture in Houston, so we can't speak for all of Texas. But there is some gang activity.
Because there was a time where you never heard nobody in Texas claiming gangs from LA. Yeah. Now I see it here and there. Yeah. It's just a reflection of followers, dog. Just like we're on like follower autopilot. Like just automatically, man. These dudes are just followers, and me and Sweets was just talking about it in the mall, man. Like these dudes want to fit in instead of standing out. Like I like the idea of standing out. Like, the person that stand out typically get more out of life. You want to fit in, you just like everybody else, you're a clone. Who want to be a clone? Like, I don't want to be a clone. Right. I'm cool with standing out, So, but as far as like, a lot of the gangs that have popped up, it is because, they've locked up a lot of the OGs like they did in Chicago and Detroit. Right. And even in LA, a lot of the OGs got locked up. And so this is a result of youngsters coming up unlearned. They unlearned. And so they thinking like, and I'm going to tell you, like when I was coming up, I never joined the gang because I didn't like the idea, number one, somebody telling me what to do. I also never trusted gangs because I know niggas tell, and I didn't want to be in no situation where somebody had that type of power where they can just rat me out like that. Like they all tell, no matter what. Like who you in the gang? They gonna tell on you. Trust me, I'm telling you. Like they gonna tell. They tell. Yeah. Why put myself in that position? I also didn't like the idea of, I didn't join a gang either because I didn't like the idea of having to do something based on somebody else's instructions, right? Like, do this, boot, and I got to do this because you said so. Right.
Like, the only dudes, a lot of these dudes that are in gangs also is because they're afraid. A lot of them, they join gangs for protection. They join gangs for protection. But that protection, the risk doesn't add up to the reward. Right. It's the risk outweighs the reward when you join a gang.
Most definitely.
All you got to do, if you don't think the risk outweighs the reward, all you got to do is just look at the guys who's been in jail, been in gangs. Find your 30-year-old gang member if you can. Yeah. Find one. Locate a 40-year-old gang member right now. Find me a 40-year-old gang member that's still. Find a 40-year-old gang member.
It don't really exist.
That dude don't exist. That's a former gang member who would tell you. Man, this shit ain't working.
Right.
Almost all of these dudes, if they in their 30s or 40s, man, they around in these community centers telling y'all, man, leave that shit alone. You do not want that. And this is coming from dudes who got bodies.
Yeah.
These dudes done the time. These dudes did the 25 years. They done the 17, 18 years, the 9 years flat. And they coming out and they saying, man, you don't want that life. So if they telling you this, why in the hell are you still trying to do it? It's arrogance. It's dudes who think that, they just got caught because they ain't real like me. I'm different. Now, the only thing different gonna be for you is what type of, what type of material they gonna use for that plug they gonna put up your ass to stop you from leaking after you get killed. You see, y'all don't know that. Like they put a plug in your ass to stop you from leaking after you die, to stop your fluids from leaking. And they put them plug in your ass and gonna put them plugs in your nose, and they're gonna stitch up your lips. They're gonna cut your chest open, and do that autopsy and shit and play with your shit and all that, and you're going to be laying up on a fucking gurney. That's your future. Now, you want that? Go for it. And the thing, too, is that I don't care how much a beast you are, how much an animal you are. They going to get you. You going to get got. And this is somebody else. It's somebody else out there who ain't even as hard as you. That'll be the person that'll kill you because they're scared of you.
Yep.
And a lot of cats don't understand that. They go out and in their mind they thinking what they gonna do to somebody, but they ain't thinking what somebody gonna do to them. So they go out. It's some dudes going out that went out last night, and some of them didn't make it back home.
Right.
You know, but if they had known what I know, they would have. Before they went out there, if they wanted to just decide they're gonna go out anyway, they would have been like, all right, man, we finna go out and to the club, man, nigga get out of line there, we gonna shoot them niggas up, we gonna whoop their ass, whatever. Yeah, but before I do, hold on, man, let me go kiss my mama, let my mama know I love her, cause I ain't coming back home. I know this nigga gonna kill me tonight.
Right.
So let me kiss my mama, let me kiss my girl, kiss my baby. I love you, baby. Look here, that money is over here. This is my passwords, so you can get to the money. Look at Rob. Look, man, you can have my car. Say, and Jimmy, man, you can keep my clothes, man. You can have them clothes, man. And my jewelry, man, just say my jewelry for my son, man, when he get to be 15. Cause I'm finna go out here and make a dummy ass move and with my homies, and I ain't gonna be thinking. I'm just going to be thinking about what we going to be doing, but I ain't going to be thinking that somebody else going to have a gun and they going to pop my ass up and I ain't coming home. Right. See, because if they thought like that, they would do all of those things that I just mentioned, because that is a very real possibility that if you go out there fucking with somebody and you go out there looking for trouble, you're going to find it. And it might not turn out like you think it's going to turn out. Yeah. That is very important to understand that. Conflict is very costly. I don't mind conflict. If I just got to have conflict, I do it. But I try to avoid conflict. Mm-hmm. By any means, I try to avoid conflict. Because I know if I go there, I'm going all out.
Yeah, it can get ugly.
It can get ugly. And, I know it ain't just about what I can do or what I'll do. But I'm very cognizant of what somebody could do to me.
100%.
You did?
100%. Man, I like a lot of what you're doing on the Willie D Live thing on YouTube and talking about the current things and what's happening and giving your opinion, man. I wanted to quickly get your opinion on this whole case with Lakeith Smith, the kid that got 30 years for a murder that he didn't even pull the trigger on. Like I know that they have the accomplice law or whatever it's called in Alabama and in certain other states, but like how this kid is going to do 65 years on 3 charges. Yeah.
Well, what he got, they gave him what we call taxing, right? Mm-hmm. So if you go into the courtroom and they offer you a plea and you turn it down and you say, "No, I'm gonna crank it up. I'm going to trial." If you are convicted, they are going to tax you. They're going to make you out of an example. They're going to make sure that if you turn down that plea, you get way more years than you would have gotten had you accepted that plea. Right. And that is to make you out of an example for the next dude that come through there, the next defendants. Right. Once somebody else, like he got 3 other co-defendants. Those other dudes, you better believe they taking the plea.
They taking the plea.
They ain't finna go to trial. They taking the plea because they know, shit, it might get 75. Right. And this just goes to show you how corrupt the judicial system is.
100%.
It's like I'm supposed to be able to go to trial to plead my case. If I feel like I'm innocent. I'm not saying the dude was innocent. I'm just saying going to trial is part of the judicial process, and everybody's supposed to be given, due process.
Supposed
everybody's supposed to be given due process, but they said if you exercise due process, we are going to
penalize you. Right.
We're going to tax you. We're going to penalize you, and that's what they do. So
it's crazy.
They do that also because they know they don't have the time or the manpower to try all of these cases. If everybody just decided we're going to trial, they don't have the manpower to try those cases. So when you inconvenience them, they are going to make sure that they penalize you.
It's a damn shame, man. That's crazy. So, man, you have your hands in so many things. I know you just did the TV show, the Fifth Ward thing.
Yeah.
I know that aired this April, so last month
it
on
did?
Urban Movie Channel. Yeah.
Okay.
I believe it did. So that's congratulations on that.
You.
Do you plan to do more stuff in Hollywood and writing scripts or acting or anything?
I'm more interested in the behind the scenes stuff, but if it's somebody out there that got a movie and stuff, they got a role for me and they think that I'd be good for, I'd be down to do it.
Yeah.
If it makes sense,
Gotcha.
But I'm more interested in behind the scenes.
Okay.
I like the idea of producing.
Okay.
Executive producing.
Holler at your old homeboy Cube, man.
Huh?
You need to holler at your old homeboy Ice Cube. We got that winning with this.
That's already done.
Got you. For sure, 100%. Man, and music-wise, anything coming up that we should be paying attention? I know next year is the 30th anniversary of your debut album, and what can we expect?
Well, I just did a song called Government with Sweets. That's sitting over there.
For sure.
So that's coming out. When you putting that out, man?
Yeah, that's going to be dropping next month.
Next month, Sweets Government.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So that's coming out. I did a feature with this youngster out in South Carolina, named J.D. Pom.
Okay.
P.O.M. So that's I think that's coming out real soon. So I just be as music wise, man. I'm kind of like a specialist. I come out, get the job done, then I go back. How they used to. They have them special agents.
Yeah.
They're calling. They've been retired, and when you first make the call, they'll be like, "Now, damn it, I don't know, man. I mean, you got to convince them to come on, go and do the song." Then say, "Okay, all right. You got me. Okay,
gotcha.
All right. Send me the address. I'll be there." So now it's like for me, it's like I'll come out, man, and drop a hot one, and then I'll get back to doing other things,
No doubt. Last question, man. If you had to give it a percentage-wise, everything from the 90s is hot now. Percentage-wise, what percentage would you give the chances of all y'all millions and millions of fans of hearing another Geto Boys album?
10%.
Damn. That hurt. Yeah. That hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. That hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
That hurt a little bit. So hopefully we can lean on that 10%, man.
Yeah,
but,
I mean it's something,
It's better than 0%. It's better than 0%. Yeah. Right. That was tough. But cool, man. I definitely appreciate you coming through, man. Please make sure that y'all go to Willie D Live and hear and see what this brother is talking about and doing. You giving up a lot of game, man.
Yeah.
A whole lot of game.
That's YouTube, y'all.
Yeah,
YouTube.com/Willie D Live.
Yeah.
I just feel like, man, the trip part about it is that I get it from both sides. Like, sometimes I get it from black folks, because some black folks, they don't want to hear that real shit.
Yeah.
They like, man, but he's still our brother. Fuck that nigga. That nigga is hating on us. He making us look bad. He talking down about our community. Fuck him.
Right.
Look, man, it's okay to criticize the community, right? But if your criticism of your community outweigh your contribution, you're a fucking coon. Ain't no two ways about it. You're a coon.
That's some real shit right there.
So why should we care about you? I don't understand that shit. If you have an enemy, your job is to annihilate your enemy. And people that sit back, well, God gonna take care of them. Nigga, God already put the fucking information in your head and gave you the power. Nigga, God got shit to do. God ain't got time to be fighting your fucking battles, nigga. Shit. He made this shit very, very clear what you need to do. And it's time for you to go do it.
That's real.
Stop sitting around waiting on God and praying. He already then gave you the power. He's giving you the information. You know what you need to do. Stop being a fucking coward and go do it.
100%.
Like that. So I get it from the black people. I get it from the whites. Whites like, oh, you're a racist.
You actually still be reading the comments?
Yeah, I read the comments. Of course.
You gotta ignore the comments, man.
No. It's important to read the comments because it's not the negative comments,
okay,
but just the comments of people. Period. The people, not the comments,
not the trolls,
not the troll shit.
Yeah.
But
okay.
it's important to read the comments, but the people because it validates their support. You dig? And so I don't want to be that type of dude. I'm not that dude that just drop videos and don't look back. Okay. I'm gonna drop it, and I'm not gonna read every comment, but I do read comments, and sometimes they have good suggestions. Also,
okay,
subscribers, they'll have good suggestions. Right. So that's important, But as far as the trolls, they do say things. A troll's job is to try to get me off my game, right? That's their whole job.
Right.
And a lot of times, the trip part about it, like we got a lot of black trolls. Like,
100%. Yeah.
It's a lot of black trolls, but like what happens is that, like, it's a lot of jealousy, right? Mm-hmm. Especially on YouTube, there's a lot of jealousy out there. So a cat see you moving, and he feel threatened by, the fact that you moving up. He feel threatened by it. He feel threatened that you got an audience, and your audience is larger than his audience, right?
Hey,
so,
shit.
But I look at it like, I look at all of it like, if somebody's doing something and whatever they doing, if their shit is strong, I just give it up for them. Like for me, it's
as you should.
For me, like you gonna have a lot of bad days, man, if you focusing on what other people are doing, and especially if somebody's achieving a success. You're going to have a lot of fucking bad days.
This is true. You're going to be a miserable human being.
You're going to be a miserable human being, man. So I'm cool with it when I see cats doing their thing. And I've seen dudes' audiences grow like right before my eyes. Like, I've seen them like whoa. Like, damn, that nigga getting down over there,
Yeah.
So, but it's a good thing for me when I see it happening, man.
For sure. Man, definitely appreciate you coming through, man. This was a great conversation, man. We appreciate y'all listening. Appreciate y'all watching. Make sure you follow us on Day One Radio on all your social media, and we will see you next week with another dope show.
That's what's up.